Hi guys, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So today in this video, we are going to talk about Rahu and Ketu's upcoming transit in the month of September. So just because I was just thinking about it's been so long since I uploaded any video on my this English channel, and then I realized that Saturn has turned retrograde, so that could be a reason that now I'm reflecting and revisiting my social media prospects and the way I'm delivering content on my social media handles. So then I realized that if even I have to make a video after such a long span, after such a long gap, why shouldn't it be on a topic for which we all are seeking information? I mean to say guys, whatsoever current pandemic situations we are going through, no matter whatsoever reason you will attach to it, but if you want the answers from the astrological lores, astrological perspective, the whole you could say blame, or you could say the reason will get attached to the current alignment, current transit of Rahu and Ketu only. Because you know that currently Rahu is transiting in Gemini sign and Ketu is transiting in Sagittarius sign. Rishi Prashara by himself has considered this alignment, this placement of Rahu Ketu as equivalent to their exalted placement. And you know that these nodes, which are the shadow planets, these are the mathematical points, this is what they love. They love to create chaos, they love to create confusion, spread of viruses, fear. All these things get attached to this Rahu and Ketu only. See, like Rahu is also friendly towards Venus as well. But when we talk about Rahu's communication, this fear and all this kind of, widespread of any information, that all gets attached to Rahu only. And when we talk about viruses, when we talk about all these kind of pandemic situation, somehow its roots are attached to Ketu only. And even if you'll go by the archives and if you'll see in the history, you will find out that whensoever Rahu and Ketu have got aligned in this particular placement, these kind of catastrophic events have taken place even in history. You talk about USS Twin Tower attack, a breakout of AIDS virus. You talk about, Hiroshima, Nagasaki bomb blast. So in all these kind of major catastrophic events, you're definitely going to find somehow the same alignment on which Rahu and Ketu are currently transiting. So I mean to say guys, once they are going to, change the signs, there is definitely going to some relief which is going to come into our lives. And right now, before I will start telling you my assessment, my results on this Rahu and Ketu's upcoming transit in the month of September, I first wanted to tell you how it's going to affect us, and most importantly, what are the guidelines on which we study the transit of Rahu and Ketu. Like the way you know that Mars represents energy, whichever house it represents, it brings its willpower towards the signification of that house, basis your ascendant. Whichever house Sun transits in your chart, it just brings out the a degree of luck and little bit of the fame prospect and the limelight onto that aspect of the house in which it is transiting from your ascendant. Same way, when we talk about Rahu and Ketu, you want to understand the transit guidelines. The first thing which Rahu represents is that whichever house it's going to transit from your ascendant, it just brings out little bit of unconventionality towards the signification of the house. It gives you that thrust of impulse to think unconventional and take risk towards the signification of the house where it is going to transit from your ascendant. Like the way it has been believed that the transit of Rahu, if it is taking place on your important houses, like to your ascendant, if you are Taurus ascendant by yourself, or if Rahu is transiting your 10th house, your 6th house, so these are considered as one of the most fortunate times. And along with that, whichever planet Rahu is going to transit, so like let's say for example, if you have your moon in Taurus sign, your Taurus ascendant, your sun is in Taurus sign, and if the moment Rahu is going to transit over that planets, it's also going to little bit kind of make the energies of those planets bit expansive in nature, bit unconventional, come into your life in bit unconventional way. So I mean to say guys, this is all what we can look at from the perspective of studying Rahu's transit guidelines. If you need to understand the transit guidelines of Ketu, that's very simple. Whichever house Ketu is going to transit from your ascendant, you could feel energies getting internalized. Some kind of unusual events could take place or could happen in your life, because this is what Ketu represents. all kind of unconventionality. Now there could be a possibility that the ghost of the past or some past investments could give you good returns in this particular point of time. And Ketu is a very, kind of very intensive force which is not ready and open to negotiate or compromise. So I mean to say, Ketu's transit, whichever house it's going to take place from your ascendant, energy is going to get internalized. Sudden, unusual, bizarre event can happen into that particular aspect of the house where it is going to transit from your ascendant. So this is something, guys, which I wanted to tell you about the transit guidelines of Rahu and Ketu. Now, so first, if you want to understand the transit of Rahu to the Taurus sign. So guys, if I were to say my assessment on this particular transit, we can look at it from that perspective that Rahu represents expansiveness. Rahu has that insatiable appetite for, for materialistic accomplishments. So from that particular perspective, Rahu's transit is going to benefit all those people. Like, let's say, for example, if you are connected in any way to the finance industry, to the investment banking, you are a musician, you are somehow connected to the art, fashion, business, entertainment industry. So whichever industry where you need to manage the finances, whichever industry where the beautifying things, beauty, elegance of Venus is required, the fame is involved. So in all those areas, and on the global level as well, all these industries and the industry people can get benefited from Rahu's transit to the Taurus sign. Now guys, if you need to understand Ketu's transit to the Scorpio sign, you can look at it from that particular perspective, like the way I first told you. This could be a very beneficial time for all those people who are the revolutionaries, who are in any way connected to the mysticism, to the astrology, palmistry, any kind of psychic subjects, who are somehow related to the any form of research. And along with that, guys, this particular transit can be looked at from that perspective as well, that it is going to definitely bring intense transformation in a positive way in your life. So let's say, for example, whichever house Ketu is going to transit from your ascendant, and if your dasha periods are also indicating some kind of transformation, like let's say, for example, your 8th house is currently activated because of the transit, because of your ongoing dashas, so there could be intense transformation in a positive way which could come in your life. I'm not looking at this particular transit of Ketu to Scorpio as a negative inducing giving event, because you need to understand that when we talk about Scorpio is being ruled by planet Mars and it is being co-ruled by planet Ketu. I mean to say, Ketu is coming back to its own sign only. So whatever transformation it's going to give to you, basis your deeds in this lifetime or the past lifetimes, there are strong possibility that those transformation, those events could happen in a positive way in your life as well. And along with that, like the way I said, all those people who are into research, who are into mysticism, so this time could also benefit them as well. So guys, again, I just wanted to say this thing. After a long time, I'm uploading a video on this particular channel. I just wanted to summarize this video by sharing the transit guidelines with you, by sharing my assessment of transit of Rahu into Taurus sign and transit of Ketu into sign. Now, if I'll get good response on this particular video, then I will feel motivated enough to go further and explain the results as per the 12 ascendants as well, and going further, the results of this transit, if Rahu Ketu are going to transit over your natal planet, so what is going to be the results. So all what I want is good response and support from your end to keep motivated to be uploading video on this channel. So this is all what I wanted to say as my take on this Rahu and Ketu's transit on the September month. For further more updates and notification on YouTube on my work, please subscribe my channel and like my Facebook page.